start recording now. And if they get here in a bit, then we'll do a little refresher, or if they don't arrive, they can see the recording to see what we learned. All right. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to go a little bit into sketching to take a look at some more tools that we can use there. Some tools are quite similar to what we've used outside of sketching, but we'll see how we can use them there. And we'll also do, yes, we're missing Ian and Aisha and Azima. Like half the class. Anyway. Yeah, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to do the sketching, and then after we're going to take a look at rendering. So rendering is how in Fusion you can take some kind of object that you've designed and make like a photorealistic image of it that like calculates all the lights and reflections and stuff, and you can add colors and stuff. Okay, so let me share my screen. So go ahead and open up Fusion. We can start working here.
Oh, so you have to go to render workspace?
No, well, we need to design something first. All right, so I'm gonna start today by talking about some sketching stuff. All right, so we're going to go into sketching and learn some new tools there, and then we're going to take that thing that we create from our sketch and try to render it out and make it look cool. All right.
Later, yesterday I had trouble with my trophy. I couldn't get a second hand. So I was supposed to ask you for help today.
Oh, for you only made like one side?
Yeah, my hand, we tried making a second hand, but it didn't work.
All right, let's take a look. So for instance, I'm just gonna make like a really simple thing. I'm gonna make like a ball or something. I don't know. Okay, so for instance, if I added like a handle to this guy, right? If I did like, I don't know, like a spline. Okay, this looks really bad, but that's not the point right now. Okay, so for instance, if you design like a weird trophy with one handle, instead of having to create a second handle, what you can do you remember how we took a look at circular patterns to like make it so you don't have to do as much work and you can just like pattern something around? Well, firstly, you could use a circular pattern, but that would be kind of wasteful. The easiest thing that you can do is if you go into create, you can click mirror. And it's going to work quite similarly to circular pattern. You're going to select what you want to mirror. So in my case, I'm going to select features over here. It's going to be this little arm. Okay, and then the mirror plane, you're going to click that, and then you're going to have to select like some kind of plane to mirror across. This can be a custom plane, this can be a face, or just the origin plane. And if I do that, check it out, bam, two handles, right? Instantly created. Obviously, this looks kind of weird because it's just like a ball with handles. But you can see there, I only created one handle, and then you can use the mirror command to get it on the other side. Okay? Does that make sense, Khaled?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to try mirroring it right now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so Jacob already figured this out. Okay, but what I'm going to do today is I want you to start by creating a new design. And we're going to start completely fresh, all right? And you guys are going to like follow along with what I do just to learn some new sketching concepts. Okay, so can everyone create a new design? All right, and Khaled, you can play around with the handle thing afterwards. For now, let's just follow along with this part, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so create a new design. and tell me when you have your nice blank screen or gridded screen.
How do you know which plane is right for each sketch?
Well, you have to like think a little bit ahead to see what kind of operation you're going to be doing and what kind of shape you want to do. So for instance, if you're doing a revolve, if you want your shape to be like upright, usually you want to be drawing on one of these side planes. If you're doing an extrude, it really depends on which side you're drawing from. So for instance, if I were to try to make a cube, I could draw a square on any of the planes and still end up with a cube. Right? So it's really up to me how I want to do that. But you'll understand it more the more objects you make, but you really have to like think ahead for what kind of operation or how you're going to create your sketch into a 3D object to make it right side up.
Okay.
So our first thing that we're going to do today is we're actually going to design a fidget spinner. All right. Not because they're like super hard or anything, but because the concepts involved in designing a fidget spinner are pretty cool, and there's a lot of optimization that we can do there, and it's a good review for constraints and stuff. And then it'll make a really cool product for us to try to render out and add materials on and practice lighting with it, right? So that's what we're going to be trying to make. So for starters, we're going to create a sketch. Now, in this application, right, we're going to be creating the shape of a fidget spinner and then extruding it, which means we want to be probably drawing on the bottom plane if we want our fidget spinner to be like flat on the ground. So I messed up. So I'm going to create a sketch on the floor. Okay. Now let me quickly pull up an image of a fidget spinner so you guys can we can like analyze the design real quick. So if you look at a fidget spinner, basically underneath the cap, I don't know if I can find a capless one.
Why weren't we using 3D Sketch this whole time?
Because 3D Sketch is very janky and not very useful. Unless you really know what you're doing with it. Okay, so basically, if we take a look at a fidget spinner, you'll notice there's basically 3 holes on the outside, and underneath this cap, there's 1 hole here in the middle. All right. These holes are where you can put bearings or some kind of weight. All right. If you look at a design like this, right, it has bearings in all 3 holes, and then 1 in the middle as well. And then we have little caps. Okay, and then it's like arced together all into one solid body. But where we're going to start is we're going to start with something in the origin. So we're going to start by drawing a little circle in the middle. All right. Now, a lot of times when you're designing stuff, you have some kind of real life parts that you want to be combining with your design. All right. So for instance, if you wanted to design this fidget spinner and then actually be able to 3D print it out and combine it with bearings and then make it work, you would need to make sure that you have the right dimensions for that. All right, so conveniently for us, I know that we have, well, it depends on which bearings you're using. Most of the time when we use bearings, they're 22 millimeters big. All right, which means that when you're drawing your design, you want to make sure that it can fit whatever bearings you're intending to use. So if we're using 22 millimeter bearings, what we can do is we can create a circle, all right, by clicking up here, or click C on your keyboard as the shortcut. And we're going to start in the origin and basically draw a circle. You're going to notice that this circle gives me the option to actually type in a size before I even click. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click in the middle once, right? And then before I like do anything else, I'm going to type 22 and then hit enter. And that's going to create a circle with a certain size for me. Yeah, I will show you guys how to 3D print objects yourselves either today or tomorrow. If we have time today, maybe I can show you. But tomorrow for sure. By the end of the week.
I'm slightly confused. My circle is smaller. What?
It's smaller than what?
Wait. Like, there's minus 25 all the way to your left. That doesn't look like... Oh, wait. What? Never mind.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've created a nice little circle here. Make sure it's 22 mil. If you accidentally miss the part where you give it a size, you can just grab the dimension tool, click on the circle, and give it a size of 22 millimeters. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay, now let's take a look again at that little drawing. If you notice, the hole where you put, well, you can't really have a hole without some material around it, right? So let's make a bigger circle around our hole, and that's where the actual like plastic is going to be, all right? Now, this is a new little sketch method that we haven't looked at before, all right? If you ever want to take some kind of shape and make another shape a little bit bigger than it, you can use something called offset. All right, it's up here under modify. Offset is really, really handy. All it does is you click offset, you can click on some sketch element, and it will allow you to make a new sketch element offset by a certain amount of millimeters. Okay, this works for anything. So for instance, if I did like a weird line shape like this, and then I use the offset tool, check this out, bam. Right, I just create an offset shape, and then I can like extrude that or something, right? Whereas if I were to try to do this manually, this would be super hard. Doing it with a circle isn't super hard, but it's still just more fun if you use an offset. All right, so I'm gonna click offset, click on my circle, and then you're basically gonna give it the distance in between the original circle and the new circle. And for me, I wanna use 3 millimeters for this, okay? And then I'm gonna click enter, and that's gonna leave me with my new circle. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, guys, when you're done with this. Awesome. All right, now let's take a look at our fidget spinner again. After we have this done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first draw all my circles, and then I'm going to connect them together. All right, you'll notice I basically have this exact same circle up here. All right, so let's just draw that out, I guess. What we can do is we can create another circle up here somewhere directly above it, same size, so 22 millimeters, and I'm going to offset again by 3 millimeters around it. Now here, I'm gonna actually show you guys a cool new way to use a constraint that you haven't seen before. Actually, let me know when you have this circle thing done, and then I'll move on to the constraint. Give me a thumbs up when you're done with it. So another 22 mil circle with a 3 millimeter offset around it.
Can you use copy paste?
Technically yes, but like, it's not that long to make this one. Also, for the other two circles, we're not going to be making them manually. We're going to actually have something that does it for us.
Does it matter where you place the top circle?
Not yet. You can just have it anywhere.
Okay.
All right, guys. So the last thing, right? We actually want this circle to be directly above our other circle, right? We don't want it to be able to just move around wherever we want, right? I want it to be constrained to be right above this guy. All right, and for that, this is something that you might not have thought of, but you can actually use the vertical horizontal constraint. All right, you may have thought that this only applies to like lines, right? So if I do like a line and then I do this, right? But you can actually use this on 2 points to make them vertical to each other. So if I click this horizontal vertical constraint, and then I click on one of the center points of the circle and the second center point of the circle, they will actually snap to be vertical of each other. And now, something broke, but now you can't move it to the side anymore, just up and down.
Wait, how do you do that?
So yeah, let me show you guys again. You select the vertical constraint, and then you're going to click on the centers of both circles. right? So the center of this guy and the center of this guy, and they'll snap to be vertical of each other.
Oh yeah, but now you can move it up and down, just not side to side.
Yeah, so they're always going to be vertical, and then we can put in another constraint that's not going to let it move up and down. All right, so the next thing we can do is let's just set a certain size for these circles to be, not a size, a certain distance for this circle to be away from the middle one. All right, so if we look at the picture again, I don't exactly know how much distance this is, but if you think of a fidget spinner, right, it basically needs to be able to spin in between your two fingers, right, without hitting your, like, thumb webbing, right? So that distance is usually about, like, 20 to 30 millimeters, okay, so 2 to 3 centimeters. Now you can really pick how much you want this to be, but you can use the dimension tool, right, to basically click on one circle, click on the other circle, and then set the distance in between their centers. All right, and then I'm gonna make this center to center distance, yeah, I don't know, like 20. Okay, I want them to not be overlapping, so maybe I'll do a little more. I'll do like 30. There you go. I think 30 is probably enough.
How do you get the dimension tool like you just did to work?
So how I got it to work. So you get the dimension tool, and then you have to click on the center of one circle and the center of the other circle.
Wait, where is the dimension tool?
You can click D on your keyboard, or it's up here in your palette.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, so how the dimension tool usually works is either you're setting the length of a line, or you can click on two things and set the distance in between them. All right, so that's the way we used it here today. And you'll also, guys, notice that right now our sketch is fully constrained, so nothing can move. And this is actually a pretty good way to do it. If you have a sketch with like multiple parts, you want to really like kind of fully constrain things as you go, and not just like roughly throw everything out and then constrain it later. This works pretty well. Okay, and
They're
now
supposed to be that close to each other.
is what's supposed to be that close.
The metal parts.
I think so. It looks kind of similar to what the real one looks like, right? If you don't like it, you can play around with it, right? So, yeah, I'll show you that one more time. So basically, grab the dimension tool, center of one circle, center of the other circle, and give it a size. Okay, I made it 30 millimeters. If you want to make it more, you can. You're not actually 3D printing these, so it's probably not a problem to make it larger. But no, if you are planning to make this at some point, or if you want it to be accurate, this may be too big to spin. It could hit your hand when you try to spin it, right, if you make it any bigger.
Wait, so the top one is the metal part and the bottom one is the actual part where you put your thumb?
So yeah, this bottom part right here is like the middle of the fidget spinner. This top part is the part that spins around. We have to make two more of these over here and over here. Now, let me try to draw that out.
Is it okay? Is it okay if the two circles are touching each other?
It is okay, but ideally they wouldn't be.
And can you change the size of the circles instead of being like 3 on the outer layer, make it 2 or 1, and then like same with the inside?
So you can. The inside part should be 22 millimeters, or else the bearing that you have to put inside it won't fit.
Okay.
Right. This offset, you can theoretically make it smaller, but again, we made it 3 millimeters so that if you were to print this out, it wouldn't break when you try to put a bearing in. Right. You need like sufficient padding around it. Okay. Now let's see. This is the next part, and this is actually going to be one of the easiest steps because we're going to use a cool method to repeat this step a couple times. Right. So if you look at fidget spinner, right, it has a top bearing, which is what we added already, and it needs another one over here and another one over here. All right, so we could technically go ahead and draw a lot more circles and then constrain them all to be where they need to be. All right, but the far, far easier way to do it is to click Create, Circular Pattern, and then pattern this sketch. So if you remember from 2 days ago, we learned how to do circular patterns to like repeat those holes that we cut out of our bases. Do you remember that? Yes, hello? Do you guys remember circular
Yes.
patterns? Yeah, okay. So this is gonna be exactly the same, but instead of patterning a 3D like cutout, we're patterning a 2D sketch. All right, so it's gonna ask me what I want, and it's even easier actually with the sketches. It's gonna ask me what lines I want to pattern. So I'm gonna click on these 2 circles right here, and then it's gonna ask me the center point, which is basically gonna say what I want to spin it around. I'm gonna spin it around the center, and bam, look at that. Literally does it for me. Just like with the other one, you can add more. So for instance, if you want like a 5 or 6 pointed fidget spinner, you can do that. I'm gonna make the 3-pointed one, so I'm just gonna click OK, and you'll see it adds them for you. Okay, now the beautiful thing about this this method is now if I change anything with the original circle, it'll actually update to the new ones. So for instance, check this out. If I make the distance from the center 35, all of the other ones will move further away. If I make it, you missed the circular pattern. Okay, let me do it.
I missed this step. Yeah.
Okay, so create circular pattern.
Create circular. Yeah.
And then click on both. Click on the things that you want to pattern. So just the 2 circles. These top ones, not the center one. Okay, and then you can click center point, and that's going to be the point you want to spin it around, which is going to be the center for me. And then you can select how many times you want to spin it.
And the center one is like the actual
You can spin it now.
Which one?
Yeah, so the center one here, this is like what you spin it around, and then all of these guys are like the weights, right?
Okay, so then when
okay, so check this out. If I make the circles bigger too, like if I make this 25, all of them get bigger. So they're all linked together now.
And for when it asks me center point, I use the lower square, I mean the lower circle or higher one?
The lower one. It's like what you want to be spinning around.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the last step of our process here is to connect our circles together. Because as of the moment, this is just 3 little chunks of plastic, like all separated. The last step is to actually connect them together. And guys, also really cool thing. Do you see how big of a sketch we have? And everything is fully constrained right now, right? Which is really good and exactly what you want to shoot for. All right, so yeah, then the last part we need to do is we just need to connect these circles together. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to use an arc. All right, so I'm going to click Create. I'm going to click Arc, 3-point arc. All right, and basically with the 3-point arc, we're going to, what a ripe number. Okay, 3-point arc. And we're basically going to connect together 2 circles and then select the 3rd point in the middle. So I'm going to click on this one and this one. And then I'm going to click on the circle in the middle. Also, do you guys notice how if you can slide around here and there's like a point where it snaps in place and shows the tangent constraint? So that's when you want to stop. When it shows the tangent constraint, you want to click so it's tangent to the line there. All right, so you can see now it's like perfectly touching here, but on these ends here, it's like kind of intersecting and doing dumb things that we don't want, right? So we can once again click the tangent constraint and use it to make this arc tangent to the circle and make this arc tangent to this circle. And you can see that's like a perfect arc. It's fully constrained, right? And it's like super smoothly going into everything. Okay, yeah, so let me know if you want me to show that step again, or if...
How do you do it again?
Okay, sure. So I'm deleting it. So create arc, 3-point arc. You're going to click on one circle, click on the other circle, and then click in the middle where your arc snaps into the circle. Okay, then you're going to use the tangent constraint to make the arc tangent to the circle, this one here, and then make the other side tangent to the other circle. And then it should be nice, perfectly constrained, and look really nice and smooth.
Mine keeps on messing up when I do it.
Should it
Do
be
you want
like
to share your screen and I can take a look?
Right when I add the arc in, it just destroys. Ah, wait, what?
Is your... Why does it not look like it's vertical to it? Is it?
I spun it.
Okay, anyway, yeah, you're good. So now basically just click the
Okay.
tangent constraint and then make... No, tangent. Yeah, there you go. Arc to circle. And same thing with the other side. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Very nice. Okay, so last thing we need to do is just like we patterned these circles, instead of drawing this arc two more times, I'm just going to use a circular pattern one more time. So I'm going to click Create, Circular Pattern. Then I'm going to click on the arc. And then for the center point, it's going to be this center point again. And I'm going to click OK. And that's going to leave me with like a super nice, fully constrained, and very convenient fidget spinner. As you can see there, I didn't need to do that much work to even create it, right? I only drew like a third of the fidget spinner and the rest of it was patterned for me. Okay, so once you guys have this step done, Khaled, are you good?
oh, I just had to fix my arc, but now I'm just adding the circular pattern.
Okay. All right, I'll give you guys another second and then we can take a look at making the 3D and stuff.
Okay, I'm good. Is it okay if you overlap the arc a little bit on the circle?
That's what you use the tangent constraint for. Okay, do you want to share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so grab the tangent constraint. This one. Yeah. Okay, and then you want to click on the arc and the circle, and then the arc and the circle. You only have to do it on one of them because it's patterned. Just click on any part of the circle. Any part of the circle.
Okay. There. Is that good?
Yep. Oh, why did you give it a dimension? Delete this. Click escape, click the dimension, and then delete it. No, not double click. Just click it once. Click escape. Click escape. Okay, click it once and then delete.
Okay.
Okay, now grab the tangent. Okay, click circle, arc, circle, arc, circle.
There.
There you go. See, fully constrained now and everything is good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Nice. Let me start sharing. Okay, so let's make it big. All right, let's make it 3D. So we're gonna click Finish Sketch. All right, we have our fully constrained sketch. Very cool, very nice. Let's make it 3D. All right, to make it 3D, we're just gonna click Extrude. And we're gonna click on all the parts that we actually want to be 3D. So I'm not gonna click on the holes, right? Or what I can actually do is I can highlight the whole things and then control click the holes to deselect them. Or not even control, just click the holes to deselect them.
Sorry,
Basically,
I missed that. Sorry.
okay, so extrude. I'm gonna select the whole thing and then click on the hole, deselect the holes by clicking on them. Okay, so you should see the main shape of the fidget spinner be blue. Okay, and then give it some thickness. So I'm actually gonna make it the thickness of the bearings. So I know the bearings are 7 millimeters thick. So I'm just gonna do that. And we have a fidget spinner. Woo!
Wait, did you make it 10 centimeters?
7 millimeters.
Does it automatically, like if you write 7, does it put it in centimeters or millimeters?
It's automatically set to millimeters. What you can do is you can type centimeters manually if you want later, but 7 is usually millimeters.
Okay. And so 7 should be a good extrude.
Yeah, so I did 7 because I know the bearings are 7 millimeters thick. So this way, if you were to put bearings in, it would be like flush on each side.
How do you get the bearings?
So the bearings, you can like order them on Amazon or buy them from like a skateboard shop or something. We have a bunch from Amazon.
You can actually use an old skateboard like wheel bearings.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have bearings laying around the house, you can use those. You can buy them on Amazon. If we were doing this class in person, like when we in our old classes, we would provide the bearings for you. But since this is online, we're just designing things.
Okay.
Are we gonna make a cap to hold the bearing in, or just super glue? So to hold the bearings in, you probably would just use super glue. We can make a cap for the middle. We can make a cap for the middle so that you can actually spin it. For now, we're not gonna really focus on that too much though.
Is there a way to like print out bearings?
Not kinda, not very easily though.
Okay.
They won't be heavy.
Like, yeah, they won't be heavy for the outside parts, but if you're looking for something that just spins, like you can, usually, like people can make 3D printed bearings. Like I've seen some pictures. Like, look, if you look at some of these, but they're generally not as smooth, and they're a lot bigger most of the time.
Okay.
So if you look at this guy, this is like a bearing, but look how big it is, right? So you wouldn't be able to put that in a fidget spinner.
So you just order them like from you order them from somewhere.
Yeah, they're like pretty cheap if you want to order them online.
Okay.
All right. So guys, with your fidget spinner, feel free to customize it a little. So for instance, if I want to fill it to the edges a little, I can do that. So I'm going to do this a little, give it a nice fillet. Maybe that's too much.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you customize it, is there a way to like, say for example, customize it to something you like? Like say I like the Edmonton Oilers. Can I put like logos or something?
So the logos, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll show you something that you can do like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we start rendering, I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, thank you. Oh, what did you just do? With the
I used the fillet tool to curve the edges. You should remember how to do that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So go ahead and fillet the edges. You can customize it however you want. For instance, if you want you want to have like a sharp fidget spinner, you can make it chamfered. You can use some other fun things. Can you pattern what? What part, Laszlo? Um, I don't know why you would pattern it. There doesn't really seem anything to pattern. But if you think there's something that you can pattern, you can go ahead and do that. That's fine. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, all right, you can keep playing around with the modifiers. You can fill it, do some cool stuff. But to make it look a little bit more realistic, I actually want to add in some like fake modeled in bearings. All right, so you can see a bearing kind of looks like a circle and then another circle and then like a little bit of a less deep ridge. So basically, I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a sketch on the floor plane. And for starters, I'm just going to create a bearing in the middle here. So I'm going to create it 22 millimeters thick. And guys, here's actually a cool trick. If this, my mouse is doing weird things. If your fidget spinner is getting in the way of you designing something, you can actually, I don't know if we've taught you how to hide things yet, but you can go on the left here and click the arrow next to bodies and just hide the fidget spinner by clicking the eye next to it. Okay, so arrow next to bodies and you can hide your fidget spinner. So I'm gonna do that so I can just work on my my bearing in peace. And I'll put this like over here for inspiration. Okay, so if you look at a bearing, it's got like a thin little ridge on the outside, so I can use an offset for that for like negative 0.7 mil. All right. Then it's got another circle in the middle, which I believe was 8 millimeters.
How do you hide it?
How do I hide it? You go on the left here, click
Yeah.
the arrow next to bodies, and then click the eye next to your fidget spinner to hide it or show it.
Why do we want to hide it?
Just because I'm working on the bearing right now, and I don't really want to see it. You don't need to hide it. It's just a like personal preference.
I have a question.
Yep.
Whenever I do that, it doesn't. It hides the whole body, like everything.
Yeah. Well, so does mine. I'm in the middle of a sketch right now.
Oh.
So I start a sketch on the bottom plane, and then once you're in there, I hid my body, and you can see it hides everything too. Like, it's just I have some sketch stuff drawn.
I think I need a little help.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen.
So I'm a little confused on what to do here. So I got up to the point where I did the fillet.
So create a sketch
Okay. Create a sketch.
on the floor. Yeah. So you're looking at the floor. That's fine.
So like
No,
that.
that's not the floor. That's not the floor. You're looking at it from the top. That's the floor.
Oh.
If you look at your thing, yeah, you were looking at it from the top. So,
Oh.
okay, now you can basically draw the bearing thing just like you saw me do. Right, so a circle and then another circle and then another circle in the middle.
How long or?
So let me share my screen now so you can try to copy along with that part.
Sure.
So I have one 22 millimeter bearing on the outside.
Yeah.
Then I have an offset in for 1 millimeter. And then in the middle here, I have I didn't actually give this a size. I have an 8 millimeter bearing with a 1.5 millimeter offset.
Okay. 8 millimeter.
Wait, which one? Wait, is the offset going inside or outside on the outer layer?
On the outer layer, it's going inside.
Oh,
And you said offset 1.5?
That's on the inside one. On the inside one, it's offset 1.5. Like, just look at the dimensions.
oh, and the offset for the 22 millimeter diameter radius circle, it's -1.
Yeah. Or just one inwards.
I'm not able to, it's not letting me create another sketch.
Aren't you already in a sketch?
I was, but then I don't know what happened. I just made 2 circles.
Share screen?
I made these 2.
Okay. Can you just double click on this guy? Okay, click escape first. Did you click escape?
Yeah.
Okay, now try to double click on this. Or can you right click on it? Or control click?
Yeah.
What is happening? Hold up. Can you just click somewhere over here, just anywhere in empty space? Okay, now control click this guy. Well, that's terrible. Okay, click on this arrow over here. Okay, and then control click this guy. Why is there no edit?
Fidget spinner looks like Captain America's fidget spinner.
Okay, can you just undo? Just click Command Z a couple times. Do it again. Oh no, what's happening?
Again?
Yeah, just keep going. Okay, wait, now redo. So Command Y a couple times. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay, anyway, I think that's up to date now, right? Okay, keep drawing.
Okay, and I don't, so now can I unhide it or what's next for me? I finished
Well,
this.
you still need to draw 2 more circles.
Okay.
So here you go.
– 22. Okay. Mhm. and offset. Okay, I'm done.
Next, don't we have to add those circles inside of the middle?
What circles? Oh, we don't need
Those
to add the
really
balls.
tiny
No,
circles.
no, because it has like a cap, right? So if you look at the drawing, right, like this is the bearing, right? So there's like an outer ridge, an inner ridge, and a middle part.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna finish sketch. I'm gonna unhide my fidget spinner, and basically now I need to extrude this to appropriate sizes. Actually, I want to do one thing, guys. Can you guys all, after finishing the sketch, double click on the extrude in the timeline? And instead of direction, over here where it says direction, instead of one size, set it to symmetric. And then make it whole length over here.
Were we supposed to finish sketch?
Yes. So guys, again, what I just did, okay, double click on extrude in the timeline. Set direction to symmetric. And then here where it says measurement, select the second option, whole length.
Symmetric.
What this will do is you'll notice now, if you click OK, your sketch for your bearing is actually going to be in the middle of the width of your fidget spinner and not at the bottom. And this is going to make our next step a little bit easier.
Okay, so you just change it to symmetric, the direction?
Yeah, so we set direction to symmetric, and then measurement is whole length.
Okay.
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 So now the next part, I'm basically going to try to create a bearing. All right, but when I'm creating my bearing, I'm going to make sure not to join my bearing to my fidget spinner. I want them to be separate things. All right, so I can actually hide my fidget spinner for this. So I'm going to extrude the outer part first to 8 millimeters, symmetric, whole length. All right, make sure it's symmetric, whole length. Okay, and you'll actually notice after I do that, the sketch disappeared. To make the sketch reappear, what I can do is I can click the arrow next to sketches and click the eyeball next to sketch 2 to make it come back. Okay, I'm also going, oh, actually here, when I extruded this, I can extrude both the inner part and the outer part like this. And then I'm going to extrude the middle part to about like 7.7 mil symmetric both sides. Maybe less, 7.6. Okay, and now if you look at that, it looks kind of like a bearing, right?
Wait,
Hey,
so
Ian,
8 centimeters and then 7.7?
Yeah, so let me do that entire thing again, right? So I have my sketch. I extrude the outer part and the inner part to 8 millimeters, but I set the direction to symmetric and the measurement to whole length. Okay.
Wait, so how thick is the circle after you hide it? After extruding it?
8 millimeters. Actually, wait, is it 8 millimeters or 7? Oh, it's supposed to be 7 millimeters, sorry.
Okay. So,
Ian, if you are lost right now and don't know what we are doing, we're about to teach rendering in a second, so you can kind of jump in there. As of the moment, we're just designing fidget spinners right now. Okay.
Wait, is it supposed to be 6.7 and 7 centimeters?
So 7 centimeters is the outer part here. Now, the next part, all right, I need to extrude the middle area, but my sketch just got hidden. So I want to unhide my sketch by clicking the eye next to sketch 2. Then I'm going to extrude that middle part to like 6.6 centimeters. All right, but this is going to be also symmetric and whole length. And then I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice now I can hide my sketch. I have a bearing looking thing. And if I unhide my fidget spinner, you can see the bearing goes very nicely in the middle and it looks very cool, very nice. Khaled is still confused. Okay, Khaled, share your screen.
Wait, 7 7 and 6.7, right?
So I tried extruding it, but I don't think that worked.
It did. You're just looking from the side. I mean, if we're looking from the top.
Oh.
So no. Okay. So also set the direction. Set the direction to symmetric. Okay, and then set it whole length. Also, the problem you have right now is that your bodies are hidden, so you can't see it when you create it. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay, so you extruded it whole length. Okay, now click OK. Okay, where'd it go? Did you click OK? Can you click the arrow next to bodies real quick? Oh, you did cut, didn't you? Can you go back? Double click on this. Okay, click this and set it to new body. New body.
New body.
Okay. Ah, you did a weird thing. Can you double click on the sketch again?
Here?
No, right here. Okay, so your offset is in the wrong direction, I think. So zoom in and double click on this guy. Not the line, the dimension. Okay, and now make it -1. Click enter. There you go. Okay, now click stop sketch.
Where?
In the top, finish sketch. You know where finish sketch is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, click extrude again. Double click extrude.
Extrude. This one?
Yes. Okay, and now try this again. Can you just click the X to deselect everything?
Sure. Yeah.
Wait, Eden
And now click
and
the
Ian
outer part
desks
and
are
the
here
inner
now.
part. Okay, and now it's good. Now just click OK.
Part of catch up on yourself, right? You cannot come.
Okay, and now next step, click this eye here to make sure that you make it visible. Click extrude. No, not that extrude, the regular extrude. Okay. No, the top one, the top one. Okay, click the inner part. Okay, and extrude it to a distance of 6.6 millimeters, symmetric whole length. So set this to symmetric, and then whole length. Okay, no, and then make sure, no, okay. Double click over here. Oh, in the bottom. The first one, the second one. No, this one, yeah, there. You double click it, and now instead of cut, set that to join.
Join.
You clicked the wrong thing. Can you double click this again? Click the X here. And now click on this part. Not that, no, that part. There you go. Okay, now click OK. Okay, you're good. All right. Yeah, that's good. All right. So we have a bearing in the middle. The next thing is let's just put that bearing everywhere else. So to actually move this bearing over, what I can do is I can click it over here in my browser, and I can right click on it, move/copy. Or actually what you can also do is you can just click on it here and click Control-C, Control-V, and you'll just create a pasted version, and you can move it up here to the top one. All right, so now I have two bearings. Let me show that again. All right, click in the hierarchy here in the browser, click on the body that represents the bearing. So body 2, Control C, Control V, or for Khaled, Command C, Command V, and then just scoot it over into the other slot. Okay, and then the last step is we're going to pattern this object into these 2 slots. So I'm going to just click Create, Pattern, Circular Pattern. And this time pattern type, instead of faces, it's going to be bodies. So I'm just going to click on this bearing here, spin it around the center axis, and I have a fidgety fidget spinner.
Is
Completely completed.
Okay, and then Command V again.
I'll be back in 1 second. Give me a sec.
You're supposed to put holes in it now? Oh,
Are we gonna take our break or?
Okay. So guys, if you need help with this, let's go ahead and share your screen. I can check that out. Was everyone able to figure it out? No?
Yep.
wait. Can I see the screen again?
Yep.
Will we get a break right now?
Well, yeah, we're gonna take a break in a sec. Because if you're done this, that's basically it for the fidget spinner. We're gonna take a 5-minute break and come back and do rendering.
Okay.
Can you send the YouTube channel thing to the chat?
Yeah, this video isn't gonna be uploaded for a while, but I can send the link. Yeah, it'll be uploaded like tonight, probably.
Mine looks like Captain America. Yo,
What part looks how?
I colored it.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that after. We're gonna add appearances, and then I'll show you how to render it out real nice.
Is it possible? I can't remember what you said. I think I asked this. Is it possible to add like Edmonton Oilers stuff on there?
Yes, I'm gonna show that also later. Okay, Ian, here's the link. All right, guys. So if you were able to get all of this going, we can take a quick little break. So come back at around 11:15. Get a nice 5-minute break and go to the washroom, get some water. And when you get back, we'll take a look at how to do rendering. We'll quickly add some materials to this guy, add some nice lights to the scene. And I'll also show you guys how to add in decals. So for Khaled, that's how you add like logos and stuff onto your object. Okay? All right, see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, guys. So it's 11:15 now. So let me know if you guys are back. Say something in the chat so I know that you guys are here. We can get started on rendering. You can just unmute yourselves and say that you're here. Hello. Okay, so Jacob is here. Khaled, are you here? Ian, Laszlo, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm here.
All right, Jacob's here. Ian's here. Laszlo, are you there?
I am.
Khaled's good too. Laszlo, hello. All right. In the meantime, while he's coming back, I think we can just start by applying materials because that's something we already covered. So he should know how to do it. We can just go over it together. So before you start rendering anything, let's just do some material work on this guy. Make sure that we have the right colors on him, and make it look a little nicer. Because right now it's just a matte. I don't even know what color this is, like a weird gray. All right. So we're gonna click A to open up the appearance library. Okay. And now let's select what materials we want. All right, so I know, let's start with the bearings because I know exactly what those materials are supposed to be. So for the outer edge here, the outer rim, I need some kind of metal. So let's go metal. I'll maybe get some like aluminum. Like I want like rough aluminum. Or satin aluminum. Maybe there's something else. Maybe I can do like steel. Galvanized, no.
I
Whole entire fidget spinner in aluminum.
I sort of just got back. I heard the appearance part, but then, what are we doing? We're just trying to get
We haven't
stuff.
done anything. Just click A and put some materials on your thing. Make it look good.
Okay.
All right, so I don't know. I'll do aluminum, I guess. I'll do aluminum, satin for this. Okay, and then this inner part needs to be black plastic, basically. So we're gonna go get plastic, opaque, and I don't want it to be. I want it to be matte. Okay, now here's the cool thing. If you don't want to apply the material to the whole thing, you can click the checkbox here that says faces. I can put it on just this part. And there you go. I got myself a nice bearing. I don't know about the color of this rim. Let's see. What about iron? What does iron look like? Not good. Let me see. Maybe this will look better in the rendered environment. Oh, it does look way better in the rendered environment. Okay. So that's fine, I guess. Then for my fidget spinner, I can make it a variety of things. I can make it really out of whatever material I want. I can make it plastic, or I'm actually going to make it like a really cool aluminum color. I'll go aluminum, and then I'll do like rough blue.
Yes.
That looks pretty sick. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for these guys. Just apply the material to everything.
But the middle part isn't supposed to be black.
It is. It's not. This is a cap on top of it. So we can design a cap later if you want. But this is technically how it's supposed to look. Okay, and maybe I'll play around with my material here. So maybe I'll make it a little smoother to make it like a little reflective. There you go. That looks pretty cool. All right. Now you guys can keep playing with the materials, but once you have it looking good, or even if you don't, you can actually do all of this in the render environment. So to switch to the render environment, you're going to go up here to the top left where you have the thing that says design. Click on that and set it to render. And And then you will see it in a different environment here where you can see it has like a shadow, all these weird lines and everything disappeared. And all the materials look a little bit weirder, like cleaner.
Where's render?
So up here, top left, where it said design before, click it, switch it to render.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
It's so hard to scroll in.
Oh, if that's happening, click the home button and it should like reset it. Okay, so this right here is the rendering environment. Let me talk about this for a little bit. So the rendering environment, you can't really edit anything about your object. All you can do is you can change colors by using the appearance library again. All right, so you can do all that here. You can play with lighting and stuff here as well. And we can add decals to our object. All right, most importantly, this is where you're actually going to create those photorealistic renders of your object. All right, and let me get like an example of that going. So right now, this isn't already photorealistic. This is just showing you like a quick little rough overview of how it'll look. But if you want to get that photorealistic thing looking, or do you want to see how it would look like when actually rendered, you can click this little play button up here in the top left. Little ball with a play button. All right, what this is going to do is it's going to do something called an in-canvas render, where it's just going to start, it'll look really fuzzy for a second. And then over a couple of seconds, it's going to start making it look more realistic and start rendering it out.
I have a question.
Wait, what did you do?
What color did you use for like for the blue? What type of blue?
Blue aluminum.
Oh. So
What-
it looks
So what
really-
I just did, Ian, is I went to the render environment and I clicked the little button here that said in canvas render.
Whoa, what?
So it'll look really fuzzy for a
What?
sec, and then it'll start looking more realistic.
Wait,
Kind of.
where's the lights?
Now our scene kind of doesn't have a lot of lighting in it right now, so our object doesn't look very
Really
amazing with like
laggy.
shadows or anything.
Yeah, you're a bit laggy.
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry, when you do an in-canvas, how about now? Is it better?
Yeah.
When you do an in-canvas render, it kind of like kills your computer.
Wait, what
But as
color?
you can see,
Yeah.
What?
What color? What blue is that? Sorry.
It's just a blue aluminum. So if you go under aluminum, find aluminum anodized rough blue. That's the one I
Oh.
used.
Okay.
So for the next hour or so, what we're going to be doing is we're not going to be just looking at how to render. We're going to be talking about what makes a good render good and how to improve your lighting and your scene setup and everything. All right. Because just throwing an object in here and clicking the render button is quite easy, but actually getting everything to work really well is a lot more difficult.
I think I just crashed it.
Yeah, that might happen.
Really?
Give it a second and try to stop the render if you can. One thing
never
to do,
mind.
guys, actually, before you start rendering, I would suggest let's actually save it right now before it's too late. All right, so you can click the save button up here, or click Control S or Command S, and let's just save it as fidget spinner.
But mine hasn't crashed ever.
Yours hasn't crashed, but still save it just in case. Which is good practice.
Tim,
Also,
If
again,
mine
if you don't
didn't
have a
crash,
fidget
it
spinner, you
wasn't
can
loading.
practice. Cal, wait, what did you say? What happened? What happened?
how do you like stop the render? I accidentally started it, but like.
You just click the ball again with the little stop button.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
If you don't have a fidget spinner made, you can just practice this rendering stuff with like a cube or something. Okay, something simple, or like one of your previous creations, like a teacup or something. All right.
I
What
made like a
render-
bearing already.
Okay, you made bearing. Yeah, you can just do that then.
What renders have you used?
I've made a couple things. We've made like watches. I've done a lot of phone renders. That like when I first started learning Fusion, I thought it was fun to make little like phone models and render those and try to make cool things. I made some other stuff, coffee cups, things like that. Nothing really, really fancy, just simple objects.
And what about like now? What have we done right now with render?
But we haven't done anything with render yet.
I mean,
So
like,
this thing is
you
kind
get that,
of.
how did you get that cool appearance? Like, I can't seem to get that, like that shiny appearance.
Oh, you mean like the glossy aluminum?
Yeah.
So what I did is if you go when you are under appearance, do you see how I dragged like you see this blue I have here?
Yeah.
You can double click on it and edit some of its stuff about it. Right. So for instance, you can play around with the color. What I did is I actually just lowered the roughness. So it was like at 5, which is probably what yours looks like right now. I dragged it down to about like 4.4-ish. All right. That makes it look a little bit more reflective, a little more shiny. Okay.
Oh.
And guys, that's actually something you can play around with for basically any material. So like these guys right here, the bearings, I use this.
Stuck on excellent.
What's stuck on excellent?
The border on the top or bottom right.
Oh yeah, that means it's like basically done rendering.
You move your camera, it just stops.
Yeah, if you move your camera, it has to start all over again. If you move anything, it has to start all over again, right? So guys, let's talk about some more stuff about rendering. Okay, for this next part, don't follow along yet. Let me just talk and show you some of the cool features that we have here. All right, so one of the most important things about this is lighting, right? So if you click on the next button here, the one that says scene setup that has like a ball in a corner, you can play around with some of these things. All right, so for starters, you can play around with the brightness of the light in your scene. So you can see I can make it way brighter, and then my like, it's gonna start to hurt, you know, or I can make it super dark and it won't have any light. This is one thing you can play around with. You can play around with the background color. Maybe you want to make it darker or lighter. Now have a lighter background color. Okay, you can turn off the ground plane. You can turn it back on.
I have one last question.
Yep.
How do you, is there a way to like copy all the data that you've done, like that you have, and make another fidget spinner without doing all the work? Like copy it and make a duplicate?
For what? Why?
Like like if you just wanted to like say you had this in your files and you forgot how to make it for some reason and you could just copy it and print it.
What you can do is you can just click File, Save As, and if you do Save As and give it another name, like for instance Fidget Spinner 2, it'll have 2 separate files saved in your file browser here.
Oh.
Okay, and then you can do whatever you want with those.
Sure, but first you'll have to unlock your device.
All right. Okay, back to here. So you can play around with some of these settings here, but the most important thing probably is the environment library. So this is the type of lighting you have in your scene. Right, you can just drag different types of lightings onto your scene and see what changes, but it's essentially going to be like the type of lighting that you see. All right, so you can have like warm lights, soft lights, sharp lights, right, rim lights, grid lights, and there's some environments here. This is something we may touch on a little bit later, but it's not the most necessary thing. All right, once you have a nice lighting scene, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to talk about how to set up your scene to make things look better, right? So there's only so much that you can do with just playing around with this, but you can actually make other objects in your scene to like accentuate this one and make it look nicer. All right, so for instance, I'm going to go back to the design workspace now, guys. So for now, just look at my screen, okay? Don't follow along yet. Like what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a like a little base plate for my fidget spinner. All right. And for this base plate, what I can do is I can give it some materials. So for instance, I'll make it wooden or something, right? So I can go and find a wooden material here.
How did you get that?
I just made a big rectangle and extruded it.
Can we try that right now?
Um, right, so here I have like a base plate. I made it nice in wood, and this already is going to make it look a little bit nicer. So if I were to try to render this out, right, it has like a little environment that it's in. It's on top of a chunk of wood. If you render it, it'll look a little nicer. No, we're not making the base plates to print. Right now I'm just showing you how to like emphasize the product and make it look a little nicer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you were to 3D print something, where would
Mhm.
you go? Like, where would you print it?
Again, we'll go over this in a later, probably tomorrow if we don't have time today.
Okay.
But you'd have to export this and then use another program to help you print it. Okay. You can't actually print it straight from Fusion, or like you can, but not easily. There's better ways to do it. All right, so guys, adding a base plate is one thing, but the most important thing you can do, or the best thing you can do, is add in some kind of light box to your scene. So the next thing I'm going to do, guys, again, just watch for this part. I'm just going to create some kind of box over here. Okay, some nice box. All right, and then I'm going to right click on it and use move to align it into a different position. Okay, and now basically I'm going to apply a light material to this that's going to shine light on my fidget spinner. All right, so to apply a light material, you're going to click A for appearance, and the light material is actually going to be under other, emissive. Actually, no, it's under miscellaneous. Hold on, miscellaneous, emissive. And then you'll see here there's a ton of different light bulb types. So you have like frosted 1500 lumens, frosted 800 lumens, right? All sorts of stuff. And you just drag one onto your object and it'll turn it into a light. Okay, now what you'll see, look, if I render this, you won't see anything right away, but if I click render, you'll see a ton more light coming from this light box here. And what you can do to really accentuate this is you can turn off the default light by clicking the scene settings and dragging down the brightness here. So for instance, I'll set it to like 400. So it'll be super dark by default. And that one light will be like the main light source in the scene and it will make stuff look really nice. So let me get like a really good angle here. Okay, so check this out. Right, does that look a little better?
Yep.
How is
Right,
it
so
still like one?
you can see
fourth
just
of the way
adding that
through?
one light really helps with some stuff. So one thing I'm also going to do, I don't really like what this bead glossip thing looks like, so I'm going to make it a little lighter. Just more reflective. You guys, I want you to play around with this. So add a couple light sources to your scene. Play around with materials. And then we'll give you guys an opportunity to maybe show off what you guys made. And I'll actually show you how to do a final render of this as well.
And how do you, the light source, you just make it create a sketch, right? And then
Oh,
make
I
an
know.
object.
I just, the light source. For the light source, I just clicked create box. Create
render?
box. No, under the design library. I clicked create and then went down here to box and just created like a box.
Okay. And which plane did you use?
One of the walls.
Okay.
I used the move tool later to get it to like a nicer position. So it doesn't really matter where you started it, but that's how I did it.
I accidentally did my fidget spinner wrong. It's now like from the top, and when you go to the front, it's like flat.
So yeah, one more thing you could do is maybe do like 2 fidget spinners.
Wait, what?
Have them like leaning on top of each other.
How do you do that?
Give me 1 sec. Hold up.
Oh, copy it.
Yeah, you just select all the parts of the fidget spinner and then copy it.
Hmm.
So Command C, Command V.
That is cool. Render, and then a appearance.
Why are we copying it?
I just want to make it look cool. And having 2
Like-
fidget spinners usually
yeah,
looks
okay.
kind of cool. Like, see how this looks, right? It's kind of in the ground, so that's something you want to avoid.
I don't think my light's working. Wait.
It won't show up until you render it or click the play button.
Down. Just to go down.
So look, I have 2 fidget spinners laying on top of each other now, right? So if you render this out, it should look pretty cool. That is pretty nice, actually. Yeah, it adds a little more depth and like abundantness.
Wait, where's that noise coming from? Is it just mine?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna show you one final thing, and then I'm gonna give you the last little while to actually play around by yourselves, and you can show off your kind of designs and stuff. Okay. So for this part, guys, please just like hands off your mouses, just look at the screen and watch as I show you the last step. Right. If you've already set up your scene and you like the way everything looks, and you wanna actually just go ahead and make a final render, export like a picture that you can go and post on your, I don't know what you guys use. I don't know. Wherever you want, Instagram or something, right? What you can do for that is basically you click this little teapot in the top right, the button that says render. First, you're gonna set up your angle the way you want it, all right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna click the teapot, and it's gonna give you your rendering option. Right, there's 2 things you can do. Either you can render the image using Cloud Render, which basically sends it to like Autodesk servers and then brings back an image to you later. This is going to not take up your computing power, but it's gonna like Well, it might take a little longer, right? But you can do multiple at the same time, which is really useful. Okay. Otherwise, you can also play around with the resolution. So, for instance, if I want like a higher resolution image, I can set it to I don't know, like print, right? And you can play around with that one right there. And then once you're done, you can click render. Actually, I'm using the cloud document. Okay, if instead of cloud, you want local. So I'm going to click that again. And this time I'm going to do local render, which is going to do it on my computer. And then when I click render, it's going to show up an option here. You'll see something come up in a sec.
What
Okay,
are
there.
credits? It said 2 credits required.
Credits are like, you don't have to worry about it because I think the student license gives you a bunch of free credits. But credits are like, you can think of it as money that you can use on the Autodesk servers, but that's the
Oh
only
yeah.
place. Think of it as like a
I
gift
don't-
card.
I don't have an education license thing.
Oh, do you have a personal? I don't know. What did you do?
I don't know.
I think it's still free. I would just suggest using local. It's usually better for most people. Cloud is if you're trying to do like a lot of renders really quickly and stuff. I don't like to use it as much, but you can still try.
I don't think my light's working.
How? Do you want to share your screen? So you have to actually click the render button, not the render button, the in-canvas render button for the light to actually do anything. Also, it's possible that you're just looking at it from the top for some reason. So, okay, Khaled, you can actually just drag that cube around. You know that, right? You don't have to click on certain faces. No, this top one, the orienting cube, this guy. Like just drag it around. See how you can do that?
Oh, what's that?
I don't know. Click deny.
Would like to control this computer using this. Huh?
Oh, also, your cube is blue on all other sides for some reason. So it's only shooting light upwards. So click A for appearance and add the light emissiveness to all sides.
Okay, stop. Whoever that is. So what do I do, sorry?
So, okay, to start, just stop the render.
Yeah.
Okay, click appearance or A on your keyboard.
Okay.
Okay, and then, no, okay, yeah. Click this arrow.
There we go.
Okay, basically just drag this onto the cube. Click remove.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, wait. Oh, and it's on the ground.
Yeah.
How do you move it up?
So stop your render. Go back to the design. Go to bodies here. Okay, and just right click on body 8. Right click and click move. Okay, now you can move it wherever you want using the arrows. And you can rotate it as well using those circular things. Okay?
And one last question. How do you get you know how you had like a table or something?
Yeah, just make a big box underneath your.
Okay, create
There.
box. Which one should I use? Like
The floor.
this?
Yep.
Okay.
And just make it big. Or you can make it small too, that works. Okay, and then go downwards. Down, 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 down. There you go. And instead of cut, set it to new body.
New body.
Okay, now the thing is, it kind of intersected your other guy, so you're gonna have to use the move command again to move it downwards. No, okay, click OK, that's fine. Let's just click OK.
Yeah.
Now, right click on body 9. Move copy, and then just move it down. You're not too far.
Like there?
Well, I don't know, look at it
how
from the
you
side.
copy paste.
Copy paste. You click on the body that you want, and then you click Control C, Control V.
What is going on? Like that?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Okay.
And I just give it a different material too, and then you're good.
And wait.
Jacob, do you want to share your screen so I can take a look and show you how to copy paste?
Whoa. Okay.
Where's stop share? Oh no.
It's already good. So what are you trying to copy the whole thing? Yeah, so just Control C, Control V, and you're done.
I tried it and it still doesn't work.
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
PC.
Can I request remote control? Okay, one thing you can do if that didn't work is you can go over here and you can basically like manually select all the bodies.
Body 7 is a floor.
Which one is the body this?
I don't know. I don't know why it's not working.
Okay, anyway, here you go. Bam. Okay, so you can just select them here instead and they should work, okay? You can hold
Okay.
Shift and select as many as you want. Or Control.
Isn't it already selected?
Yeah, right now it is. But like, I mean, like if you were to try to do it yourself.
Oh no, wait.
Oh, okay, wait, no, undo one more time now. Okay, so again, select all of them, and then Control C, Control V, and then you can put them wherever you want.
Okay.
There you go. Awesome. All right, so guys, if you want to show what kind of renders you've been doing, Laszlo, do you have anything cool you want to show us?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I can't change the appearance of the ground. Like
Okay, click A. Let's see. Or share your screen now. Let's see. Okay, so grab some material, mahogany, and drag it onto the box. Okay, no, don't click on that. Can you click on the arrow?
Where? Which area?
Arrow. There you go. And now drag cherry or something onto it.
What?
There you go.
Okay, it wasn't working before. Okay, and can I add some cool designs on it, like logos?
Oh, yes, decals. I wanted to show that. Okay, let me do that right now. Alrighty, so guys, this is another really cool thing. So for instance, if you wanted to put like a real life thing on your object, all right, there's a really easy way to do that. So for starters, let's get an image that I want. So for instance, you want the Edmund Euler, right? So I'm gonna get the Edmonton Oilers logo,
Like, is
PNG preferably.
not well. I have a question. Do you have to just get logos, or can you get like pictures or stuff?
Well, it is a picture. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, I'm just showing. I just needed the logo as a picture, right? So basically, you're gonna find the picture of the logo. You're
Yeah.
gonna right click, say save image as. I was gonna save the image to your computer. It doesn't really matter where, like, what the image is. All right. But once it's on your computer, what you're gonna do here is you're gonna click this button, the third button that says decal. Decal is going to basically allow you to put an image on something. It's going to open this window, which is going to say like, what do you want to add? I'm going to click insert from my computer. And I'm going to find that Edmonton Oilers logo. Here you go. Now it's going to say what do I want to put it on. I'm just going to put it on the face here. And then I need to play around with this to get it working well. All right, so there you go. A little tiny Oilers logo. Okay, and I can click OK. It looks kind of weird, but I don't know what's going on.
Thank you.
And then let's see what that looks like rendered. If it even does. There you go. See, Oilers shows up. Yeah, so that's the decals. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can do this with all sorts of stuff. So for instance, if you wanted to make a phone, you could add a decal of like a screen to it instead of having to model one or anything, right? So that would already make it look a lot cooler. So for instance, if I just made like a hunk of plastic, like just a rectangle, right? I could just decal a phone screen onto it. So I could be like phone. Let's just do phone wallpaper. Alright, so let's do iPhone screenshot. Here you go. Let's do this. Save image as. And then I can just decal this like this.
Yeah, this is really cool.
It's been 100 seconds and it still hasn't loaded.
What are you trying to load?
The render.
Yeah, that is how it does it. It takes a while. Anyway, look, let's take a look at my old one. Let's see if that actually finished rendering. Hey, here it is. So here's my finished render of my fidget spinners. All right. Again, it doesn't look superb, but with more practice and time, you can put a lot of effort into these renders and make some really cool stuff. Let me see if I can actually find something cool. Give me a sec.
In like 3 minutes.
So, for instance, I'll show a cool image of a render. You can make some really cool stuff, and maybe Alex showed you a couple cool things. Here's something I made a long time ago. This was actually I think 4 years ago. I made a katana in Fusion 360, and then some ninja stars, and I rendered them together on like a plank of wood. I don't know. It looks pretty cool. So you can make some pretty nice things, and then render them out pretty nicely. So you can play around with that. Okay. One good way, what I did to actually like get good at modeling stuff is I just made some like real life objects or stuff, or not even real life objects. If you guys play any games and have like favorite things from those games, you can play around with those. So for instance, the image I just showed you, those were some of the like weapons from Overwatch, if you guys have ever played that or anything, right? But if you have any favorite games and you're like, oh, this would be a cool thing to model and maybe render, or if you want to even print it, those are a couple things that you could do, and that's really good to practice modeling and get some techniques down, right? And it's a really fun way to do it as well. Okay.
How do you pull up the images after you save them?
How do you pull up the images? Which images?
Like I saved an image and from the internet, and how do you add it to the fidget spinner?
So you click the third button, decal.
Okay.
Over here, you're going to click insert from my computer, and you have to find where you saved it. So for instance, if you saved it to your like downloads folder, it should be somewhere here, right?
Okay.
Then you can click it, you can click open, select where you want to put it, and then you just like reposition it and throw it on there.
Okay.
Okay. Very nice. Okay, does anybody have any cool renders they want to show off?
Mine is still waiting. It's been like 315 seconds.
So we could put it up, Tim, as the home assignment for tomorrow to do a product render that would be like a marketing flyer quality.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. Let me maybe share a screen here. So guys, we'll be looking to for anything, any idea will work. So if you want to do like a jewelry, electronic gadget, wearable, tool, accessoire, anything that you want, but the judging would be basically made on the merits of how realistic it looks. So those are just few examples that we were doing on the previous class. So for example, this is the like a gemstone ring. And as Tim shown with the fidget spinners, just make an entourage by maybe copying one or two, changing a few aspects of it. For example, when you see iPhone commercials, they show like in several different colors, the same kind of product, but there are variations in design. Same thing goes for other manufacturers that produce the product that is they're targeting different audience, so brightly colored for the youths, and then some like a little bit more reserved professional colors for the business use, things like that. So this example is, for example, gemstone ring. You can see, Tim, you didn't discuss camera angles, right? And the depth of field?
A little, not too much, no.
Yeah, so look into the rendering settings, and there is a place where you can adjust the camera. And if you were playing with photography before, you should be familiar with the things like depth of field. Depth of field is an effect that when you focus on something in the frame, anything that is a little bit closer than that object or a little bit farther than the object become fuzzy and blurry. Exactly. So this is a method of bringing focus to an element of a design that you want your audience to pay particular attention to. So in this photograph, for example, we're focusing on the edge of the ring where the gemstone is attached to those holders. And then even the same ring, but the bottom part of it is a little bit fuzzier. and the one that is on the background is fuzzier still. This is another example. This is the same thing that I was showing you yesterday. So it's like nothing particular. It's just some sort of like a Christmas decoration or some sort of ornament. But it involves metal of different quality. So it's the steel-like metal, the color of metal, gold or bronze. And it's set inside the glass shape. And that glass shape also has some revolve patterns on it, like some holes drilled through. And you see that the light hits it from the top. Oh, sorry, I've stopped sharing for some reason. Let me start share again. What I meant to click is annotate here. So if you can see that the light is hitting the thing at, where is my annotate? Razor format. Draw. Control approve. Okay, so that's the direction of where the light hits the metal. So you can see that some of the white splotch here of light, and there's on the back I have a surface that is uniformly lit with green light, and it's emissive, and that hits it from this angle, and it gives it nice kind of the highlight around the edge. Okay, so sorry, Lars, you have.
So create a thing you want.
Yeah, what would you like me to do?
So guys, the challenge is to render something and make it look as photorealistic as you can. What you render is up to you. It can be really anything you want, anything you can create. Just make it look good and try to add in some nice things around it. Try to play around with lighting, play around with the rendering environment. Okay?
So yeah, don't go straight into the maximum quality, because first of all, it takes a lot of time, and for you, in order to get an idea of how it's going to look, you don't want to really wait on every iteration for 15-20 minutes. So I suggest to do it quick in Canvas render, and just see how it looks. And when you're happy with the layout and how in general it looks, then for the final render, you can do the thing where it's when it's going to be looking the nicest, and then you save it as an image, and then tomorrow you'll just show in the morning to present whatever your project was. Okay?
So we basically just need to make it look really realistic.
Exactly. It doesn't really matter what you're doing, right? So the best, of course, would be if your object will involve all the techniques that we covered so far, make it patterns, use some revolve techniques, you know, sweeps, lofts, whatever. But it can be as simple as like Christmas balls, for example. You just make like several spheres, make attachments and hooks for it, for like it goes to the on the Christmas tree. Anything that very basic, but the objective of this exercise for tomorrow would be making it look photorealistic. Okay, Laszlo, stop wiggling my computer.
Okay, wait, Kelly, you said you had a question? Let's just quickly address that, and then we can wrap up.
I think I need help.
Yeah, okay, share your screen. Let's quickly take a look.
How do you, I can't seem to move my fidget spinner. Like, I want to move it up, but I can't move it up.
Okay, instead of moving it up, I would suggest just move the floor down. That's probably easier.
Okay.
So find the body that's the floor, is body 10, right?
Yeah.
So right click on it. Move copy. And just move it down. Okay, you did a weird thing. Hold up. Cancel this. Okay, right click on this guy. And then say move copy, and then move it down. Okay?
Okay.
Wait.
And then, wait. Okay. And yeah, okay. I'll go. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Okay, so guys, it's 12:05 now. So as of today, we took a little bit more of a look in sketches and renders. All right, so you know your homework. Try to make a photorealistic render or something cool. And next class tomorrow is going to be our last one, so we'll start with you guys showing that, and then we'll take a look at a couple more little features. And if you guys are interested, we can take a look at how to actually print and slice your 3D models. All right. But apart from that, if you guys don't have any questions now, I think that's it for today.
Bye.
Everyone good?
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.